Welcome back to the Playdate by Freshly Picked. I'm your host, Kaitlin Hansen.
And I'm Nia Louie.
Nia, I'm super excited because we are going to talk about your birth story.
Yes.
Yes. For baby girl.
Yeah.
And she's 6 months old, so it's still pretty fresh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to hear all about it. Tell me about, did you go into labor? Did you get induced?
I went into labor at 38 weeks.
Okay.
I got ready for church and I did a TikTok video.
Oh my
day
gosh.
of showing my
Bump.
38 weeks today.
Yeah.
And then at church, I started having contractions.
Oh my gosh.
And I was like, and I do this every single time I go into labor where I'm like, is this gas pains? Am I constipated?
Yeah.
Am I because I'm always just like, what really are contractions? I don't even know what they feel like. I always forget.
Did you go into labor with both of your boys?
I was induced with my second.
Okay.
But I was already at a 5 when I got there. So they barely had to do anything.
Yeah.
But with my first, I went into labor naturally.
Okay. How many weeks with him?
38 weeks as well.
Okay, 38 weeks. That's your magic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Okay, so you're at church. You start getting contractions.
Yeah, I'm sitting in sacrament meeting and I'm just like, oh, I am uncomfortable. And you're always uncomfortable. And so I was like, maybe I just need to walk around. So I walked the halls with my 3-year-old, was he 2? Yeah, 2-year-old at the time. And I was like, it's fine. And I tried to go to the bathroom because I still was like, maybe it's just constipation or something. I don't know.
Oh, for sure.
And then I went in to my husband and I was like, I need to go home. I'm so uncomfortable. I can't sit down. I can't. And so I took my 3-year-old home with me and he stayed with our 6-year-old at church for a second hour. And I got home and within 30 minutes, I'm like, okay, these are for sure contractions.
Yeah.
This is for sure happening.
Did you use an app to time them or anything? Okay.
Yeah. And it was kind of inconsistent. So I was like, maybe they're just Braxton Hicks. I feel like I play that game every single time.
Yeah.
I'm like, maybe I could have him tomorrow. Maybe I can have him in 3 weeks. Maybe, But then they just progressed pretty quickly. I called my mom. I was like, hey, having contractions. And with both my boys, I had contractions for a long time.
Okay.
For a whole day at least.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I think we have plenty of time. My parents live an hour away.
Yeah.
At the time. And so I was like, we have time, but just so you know, it's happening today. Right. And so they're like, all right, well, get packed up and kind of let us know. And then it was by noon. So we had church at 9. That's when it started. And by noon, I was like, we need to go. We need to go right now.
Did your water break?
No, not at all.
Has your water broke with?
Never.
Okay.
Yeah. And so I was like, these are getting really close together. They're getting pretty intense. And I was still like, but I want to labor at home for as long as possible. Yes. And so my parents were still driving on their way. And I had to call my friend Bree. And I was like, listen, I can't wait for my parents to get here. I need to drop off my boys. And she was like, they had just got back from a deer hunt. So they were gutting a deer.
Oh my God.
And I was like, I'm so sorry to dump them on you. And she's like, it's fine. You can go. And so we dropped off our boys. Luckily, the hospital was 5 minutes away.
Great.
And we got checked in and they checked me and they're like, oh, you're at a 7.5. And I was like,
a 7? Oh my gosh. You're like, that's why it's so intense.
And so I got into my hospital gown and they walked me to a room. And I was, at this point, I was couldn't talk through them. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to die. So we were just kind of chatting in the room and I leaned up against the bed and I was like, I think it's happening. I am about, how you feel like you're going to poop?
Yes.
I'm like,
That's the best way. I said that on another episode. Yeah. I'm like, that's the best way to explain it.
Where you're like, I'm going to poop.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I feel like it's coming. And so, my midwife wasn't even there yet.
Because were you planning on doing a natural birth?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I had C-section. So I'm like, all of it's I pushed for 2.5 hours with my first, but then had to do an emergency C-section. So I'm like, I've never experienced much other than okay, I got the I'm going to poop my pants situation. Yeah. And then other than that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's intense, but I love it. I love natural birth.
Did you do natural with all your kids?
My first one was epidural.
Okay.
Because I was a single mom. So I was like, however, the easiest way to get him out of me. Yeah. Let's do that.
Yeah.
And it was great. It was fantastic.
Okay. So you were planning this though.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Because I know that can be I don't even know. Terrifying when you're not going into that, planning that. Right. And then it's like, oh my gosh, you're too late to get an epidural or whatnot.
Yeah. With my second, I was going back and forth. I got induced and I told my husband, I was like, I want to do it natural.
Yeah.
I want to do natural. And so we did that. I did that natural. And then I was like, I'm going to do that again.
Yeah.
For some reason, I want to feel the pain
love
of it.
that. No, I think that's like so empowering and incredible.
Oh, it was. I mean, the second the baby's out of you, you're like, I am a badass.
Yes.
I can rule the world. I was a portal from another universe to this one.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so you're standing up.
Yeah, I was like kind of leaning against the bed. I think they were talking to my husband about something. I don't even know, maybe paperwork or something. And I was like, it's happening.
Yeah.
And so they're like, okay, get on the bed. And the sweet nurse, I don't even remember her name. I have it written down somewhere, but she was so sweet. She was like rubbing my hand. She's like, it's okay. It's
cute.
Okay. You're great. Breathe through it, whatever. And within 2 pushes, like my water broke and she came out.
Oh my gosh. So very quick.
So we were at the hospital for a total of like 30 minutes, maybe.
Oh my gosh.
So it was insane. I kept looking at my husband like, did I just have a baby? Did that just happen? Like it was so fast.
Yeah.
It was so fast.
Oh my gosh. And what time was she born?
Like 1:55 or something like that.
So, oh my gosh. That's very quick.
Yeah. It was
Were
insane.
your other births that quick?
No. That's why I was like, we got time.
Yeah.
It's okay. And then I was like, these are like 2 minutes apart. I think we might have to go just to be safe.
Time
probably
to spend.
Because even in my mind, I was like, we'll probably spend hours there.
Yeah.
Just, laboring. And it was like so fast. And my midwife didn't even, like the nurse delivered my baby.
Oh my gosh.
And
how cool.
It was crazy.
I love that.
Crazy.
I just want to hear about like some differences between having an epidural from your first into a natural birth. Like obviously you can like stand up right away.
Right. I prefer natural birth.
Yeah.
The recovery was way quicker.
Okay.
I could, stand up and walk around like within 20 minutes or whatever.
Wild.
And I just feel like, I don't know, I like feeling the pain.
Yeah.
Which sounds so weird. But
no, I've actually heard that from several people that have had natural births. Yeah.
I'm grateful, genuinely grateful for an epidural with my first because I don't think I was in the mind space to go through. Even with the contractions I was having, I was like, I can't do it. I cannot. Because I was, my mom was there, but I was alone in it.
Yeah, it's very different.
Yeah. And so I was like, do the epidural. It's great. And it was great, honestly. And I would watch like the monitor go up. I'm like, oh, I'm having a contraction right now.
Gosh.
And so, but I couldn't get up right away and my legs were kind of numb or whatever. But so experiencing natural birth, I was like, that was the most intense, insane pain. You can't even describe it. Where you're just like, screaming.
I can't comprehend what that feels like.
I make weird noises. I mean, moan and groan.
I would too.
And then when I'm pushing, I was screaming bloody murder.
I'm like, that's what you got. You have to.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got a human being coming out of you.
Yeah. It was intense, but it was like the most empowering, like, oh my gosh, my body can do so much. I can mentally handle so much.
Yeah.
That you just can't. It's so hard to describe.
Oh my gosh. Did you do any like programs or anything to like prepare for that? Like I know some people do like hypnobirthing and things like that. No. Okay.
It sounds awful, but I was like, well,
that's not awful.
With my second a little bit, I looked into kind of like breathing techniques, but with my third, I was like, okay, let's do
I'm just winging it.
I've done it before. I know how to do it, and it kind of, the breathing actually, it really does help to just like calm your breathing. Because when you're in that much pain, you're just like, oh my gosh, this is insane. And you have to like, okay, it's okay.
I feel like I would be like hyperventilating.
Yeah. Yeah. I was taught to try to do deep moaning instead of like screaming, which it's hard, but I don't know if it makes a difference, but it made a difference for me. And so I sounded like a freaking jungle animal.
Which like, I'm like, whoa. You should. You are having it's
a very animalistic experience where you're just like, I have no control over my body.
Yeah.
And at least you can have control over your mind and your mental. And you have to tell yourself like, hey, this isn't going to last forever.
Yeah.
Get through it. You get a baby at the end of this.
Yeah.
And,
when they pull her out, did you do skin to skin like right away?
Yeah. But then they had to take her. She swallowed marconium.
Oh, yes. Yep.
Is that what it's called?
I think so.
Something like
I've
that.
heard that. That sounds
basically
right.
Like poo or something. Anyways, I think it's because my water broke and she came out so fast.
Yeah.
And so she just wasn't breathing correctly. So they took her over to like the warming bed and were like sucking out her lungs. Terrifying. It was only like 20 minutes, but I was like
probably longest 20 minutes of your life.
Yeah, I was watching them. My husband was over there. I was kind of just alone on the bed.
Yeah.
And just watching them like, suck stuff out of her. And I was like, okay, please be okay. Please be okay. Please be okay.
Yeah.
Like, and of course my brain is like, she's going to die. It's going to,
Oh yeah. You're like always cycling worst case scenario.
And you're going through the like adrenaline rush of just pushing out a baby. So you're like, is everything okay? What's going on? Or whatever.
Yeah. I was going to ask you, like, does the adrenaline kick in like after they pull her out? Are you like in pain or is there so much adrenaline where you just like don't feel it?
I feel like the second that she was out of me, it was over.
Okay.
It was like, okay, I did it. And then you're just like, wow, like you're like on a high, And of course the pain comes back later. But
yeah, like how long after?
I think once your body calms down, I feel like it takes different amount of time for each person and each kid. But I don't know.
Maybe like a couple hours.
Yeah, probably a couple hours. Okay. Maybe they had to like stitch me up a little bit.
Yeah. Did you tear?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've torn with all three, but just a little bit.
Okay.
Nothing extreme.
Yeah. Good.
And so because I did natural, she had to give me a shot down there to numb it so that she could stitch it.
Yes.
And I'm like, yeah, please do that.
Yeah,
please.
that would be great. Thanks.
But I could feel the tugging and the pressure. And you just have to like.
Which is so weird. Because that's how a C-section is.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah. It is crazy. They like basically take like a shoehorn and like pull up like. It is wild. Like
I cannot imagine.
Yeah. They're like pulling up your like. Basically like. I just think of it as like a skin flap. And like the tug of them like pulling up your stomach. Is the most like undescribable feeling.
Right. Yeah.
Like it's really, really weird. And it's just pressure.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy.
My friend had a super traumatic birth where she felt everything.
Oh my gosh.
They had to rush her so fast. She literally felt every cut. And she was telling her mom, she's like, I thought I was screaming the whole time. Yeah. But I was just, apparently she was just like
in shock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't imagine.
I think a scheduled C-section. So I had a scheduled C-section with my second. And that was like.
Like, it's going to
happen. Easy peasy, roll on in, like you're good. Yeah. But I think emergency C-sections can definitely be scary and traumatic.
Yeah.
For sure.
Because you're like, what's going to happen? What's going on? This wasn't my plan.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, but totally. I feel like just the pressure of everything is, the sensations are weird.
Oh, the worst part, worse than child labor, is when they come in and push your stomach.
Punch my lights out.
It's like, I would rather birth 100 children than them come in and try to push all the.
So they do that with a C-section too.
Do they really?
Oh, I thought I was gonna like punch someone.
Oh, I grabbed the nurse's arm. I was like,
it like takes your breath away.
Yeah, I was like, mother.
Yeah, it's not good.
So awful, and you're trying to be so nice. I was like, I know you're supposed to be doing this, but
you're like, thank you so much.
I hate you.
Yeah,
it's so bad. And then they come back and they're like, we got to push one more time. I'm like, no, you don't. You really don't.
I feel like that is the worst part. I just didn't know about it.
Yeah.
Either.
Well, no, I feel like I didn't know about it at all going into it with my first. And it's like, why didn't anyone tell me this? Because this is awful.
But it is quick.
It is, yeah. It doesn't last forever.
Quick. Yeah. And it's just, like only for a little bit.
Yeah.
So how long did you stay in the hospital for?
We were there for a total of like 24 hours.
Okay, great.
Yeah. So we stayed the night and then we were like, we feel
ready to go.
Let's go.
Yeah.
And it was great.
And then how was your recovery?
Amazing.
Good.
Because I knew how to communicate with my husband.
Yes.
I was like, listen, for the first 2 weeks, I'm not getting out of bed.
No.
This is like, you're in charge of the boys. I'm in charge of learning how to breastfeed again and taking care of baby and recovering.
Yeah.
And I literally did nothing.
That's how it should be.
He took over completely, 100%.
Good.
I did nothing. Didn't lift a finger.
I love that.
He would like bring me up plates of food. And we were fed. My friend Bree did a meal train. There's like, it's called mealtrain.com. And you can
Oh, sweet. I need to look into that.
Yeah. You send out the link to people and they can sign up for a day to bring you dinner. And we had 18 days.
Great.
Yeah. Because my husband can't cook worth crap.
Yeah. No, we were doing takeout.
He can't toast a bun in the toaster without burning down the house. And so I was so grateful.
Yeah.
And people were just
so shout out to mealtrain.com. Check it out. Set it up for yourself. There's no shame in it.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
That's amazing.
It was so great.
Okay, so great recovery. Have you had any like postpartum depression or anything with any of your kids?
Yeah. Well, this time, I feel like it's been different each time. The first one I don't think it was full on. I don't know if they would have diagnosed me postpartum depression, but maybe baby blues.
Yeah.
Partially because of the situation. I was alone.
Right.
I mean, I was living with my parents, but I was alone in it. And I've never had any mental health issues.
Mm-hmm.
I've always been able to like pull myself out of a mood and, and it was weird. I was like, I can't have a conversation.
Yeah.
I feel numb. I feel sad, but I'm glad I have a baby.
Yeah.
Like it's such a weird feeling to be so in love with this child, but also be like, I am sad.
Yeah.
No,
that's totally fair.
Yeah. And with my second, I feel like I maybe had more anxiety.
Yeah.
But with this one, I've had some postpartum rage.
Ooh, that's fun.
Maybe it's just, I don't know if I don't know if it's serious enough to be like, you are diagnosed with this or whatever. But like within a second, I can be like, mother effing.
No, I think that's like part of it.
Yeah.
And I think that's a part that people don't talk about too.
Yeah. And it's so like, I get so frustrated with myself because I'm like, I am not a mean person.
Yeah.
And I control a lot of what comes out of my mind. But like what's in my mind constantly is like, mother effer, you little shithead mother, like, and any little inconvenience. Like my shoes got stuck on the shoe rack the other day.
Yeah.
And I was fine. Like I was having a good day or whatever. And my shoes got stuck. And I was like, mother. Like
I was just like sets you off.
Oh, and I wanted to like throw things. And I was like, what is wrong with me? This is insane.
No, that can like definitely happen.
Oh, it's blowing my mind. I'm like, how can I get rid of this? Because it's probably partially lack of sleep, but.
Oh, yeah, that will do it to you. The sleep deprivation.
Yeah.
That'll get you.
And then just like 3 kids, taking care of a newborn with the other 2.
Yeah.
And,
that's a lot.
It's been weird because I'm generally a really happy person.
Yeah.
I'm super positive, but there's been moments where I'm like, I am not myself. My brain is scaring me.
Well, and they say that postpartum, like it can last for up to 2 years too. So it's like, be patient with yourself.
Yes.
Give yourself grace.
Yeah.
You're doing amazing. That's normal.
Yeah.
No, I like it.
Yeah.
Okay. One other question is, tell me about the mom that you hope to be.
Ooh, that's a good one. I feel like the most important, like the one thing that comes to mind is creating an environment where my kids feel comfortable coming to me. If they're in trouble or if they have a weird question or just anything. Like I want us to have a relationship to where they're like, Mom, I really messed up. Like I really like, this is rough, or whatever. And because that was, I want to be my mom. Basically what I'm saying is I want to be my mother.
How incredible though that you have such a great example of that.
Yeah. I mean, we were never yelled at ever. Even when we were in trouble, it was never like anger towards us. It was like, okay, let's sit down, figure out why you did that and like, let's talk it out or whatever. And I felt good about going to my parents about things. And even when I got pregnant with my first, of course, I was so scared to tell my parents because I don't want them to be mad or disappointed in me. But I knew that they would accept me and understand it and do whatever they can to help me without enabling me. They were really good at that balance of like, we're disappointed in you for sure. Like you did something wrong, but like, let's help you. Get back without taking over. I feel like there's a fine line between like, I'm going to help you.
And I'm like going to fix
and
this
I'm going to do everything for you. Because I needed to struggle growing up. I needed to have to apologize to so-and-so or whatever. And they were really good at managing that balance of like, of helping me, but also not helping me too much.
Yeah.
And at the time I was like, you guys suck. Like just fix it for me,
Yeah.
But it taught me how to be self-reliant and fix my own problems. And so basically I want to be my parents.
I love that. No, that's incredible.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're awesome.
And then is there anything that you would do differently, or if you were to have another baby, like what things would you change about like your birth plan or?
One silly thing that I think I would change. Honestly, this has been the best postpartum ever.
Good.
Because of my 2 other ones, I've kind of learned what I want and what I don't want.
Yeah.
This time I was like, you know what? I'm going to buy myself some postpartum outfits while I was pregnant. so that I can like be cutesy and stuff. Don't do that. Because I bought them in the size that I was pre-pregnancy. And because I was like, I'm going to bounce back with your third. Well, at least for me, I didn't bounce back.
Yeah.
I'm still not bouncing.
I didn't bounce back with either of mine. I just barely, after my baby turns, well, she's not even a baby. My 2-year-old, she turns 2. And I'm like, I'm just barely not even getting back, but like somewhat before
there.
Pregnancy. Yeah.
I feel like I didn't give myself enough time mentally to like still. I mean, she's 6 months. That's not very old.
She's still so tiny.
But like in my mind, because with my first, I snapped back so fast.
Yeah.
And I was like.
Because how old were you?
I was 25.
Okay.
Yeah. And I think partially because I was still dating.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm going to bounce back. I'm going to be awesome.
Yeah.
And this time around, I'm like, I have no motivation to do that. I mean, I do work out or whatever, but like I haven't bounced back as fast. And so I wish I wouldn't have bought
those clothes
in that size.
Yeah.
I wish I would have been like, I'm going to get an extra large instead of a medium, you know? And so, but I honestly, it's been the easiest postpartum because I've communicated with my husband and what I need. And I've allowed more people to serve me.
Good.
Because I always had that like prideful, like I can do it myself.
Oh, that's how I am.
Yeah. Like don't serve me, you know?
Yeah.
But this time around, I'm like, yes, please. I would love that and appreciate that. Thank you so much. You know? So
it's so hard sometimes to accept help.
It is.
But I had a friend and she was like, you need to stop. She's like, I want to help you. And it makes me feel like I can't do anything when you don't let me help you. And I'm like, I never even like looked at it. I thought it was just like, I'm inconveniencing you.
Right. Yeah.
But it's like people want to.
Right. Yeah. With this one, I did, instead of a baby shower, I did a nesting party.
Fun.
Which my friend Bree set it up. Again, Bree.
Shout out to Bree.
Best person ever. She was like, I want to throw you a baby shower or something. And I was like, I don't think I want a baby shower. I don't like opening presents in front of people. And I don't really need anything. We have hand-me-downs of everything.
Yeah.
So we decided to do a nesting party. I sent her a list of my nesting to-do list.
Yeah.
Like, I want to organize this first and do this, whatever.
Wait, that's the best thing I've ever heard.
Yeah. And so she invited a few of my sisters and my mom and, you know, and they came and she printed out little things of like, she wants the pantry organized and kind of
like little
decluttered
jobs.
and I want to organize the nursery so it's all organized or whatever. And so we just did that together.
Yeah.
We cleaned my house and got it all organized together. And then we had dinner and they each brought me freezer meals for postpartum.
Wait, and so, this is genius.
Yeah.
That's way better than any like gift and
yeah, because all of them at some point were like, what can I do for you to help prepare? Like, what do you need? And I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
You know? And so a nesting party, it gives you that liberty to be like, I would really love to go through my kitchen and get rid of things that I don't need. Because it's a disaster right now. And postpartum, you're not in the headspace.
Oh, you're not getting to that.
Yeah. And so, and that was at like 37 weeks. And so a week later, or I think 5 days later, I gave birth. And
then your house is still so clean.
Yeah.
And everybody should do that.
Yeah. And the freezer meals were bomb. They were all like crock pot throwing the, you know, whatever.
Great.
And so it was the best thing ever. Yeah.
Genius. I'm like stealing that.
Do it. It's the best. I want to throw a nesting party for all of my pregnant friends.
Yeah.
It was delightful.
And it's like things that I feel like I have like a list of things that like I need to organize or do or whatnot.
Yeah.
And it's like sometimes you need the motivation of like someone coming over and helping you do it.
Yeah, totally.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, do you have any other advice for anybody that is having a baby soon?
I think just enjoy it. Don't worry about anything else. The only job that you have is to take care of your baby and take care of yourself.
Couldn't have said it better myself. I love it.
Yeah.
Well, thank you everyone for tuning in and we'll see you next time.
Thank you.